Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. I have another very simple beginner project for you today. If you're a raw beginner, you'll learn how to sew on a button, how to thread a needle and tie off the ends in a really easy way. And you'll also learn how to make a napkin holder. All we need are 4 squares of fabric and a little bit of stabilizer and a button, and you can have this cute little napkin holder. Make it in Christmas prints and it'll be perfect for the dinner table at Christmas time too. Let's get to it. All right, we don't need much for this project. We have a button. You can use any size, colour or style of button that you like, but it will sit against the contrast fabric. We have 2 pieces of fabric here that are 8 inches square or 20 by 20 centimetres. And you want 2 contrasting pieces of fabric as well that are also 8 inches or 20 centimetres square. And then we want 2 pieces of fusible stabiliser. Doesn't matter whether you use Pallan or Parlan, even iron-on interfacing, just something with a little bit of stability. We want 2 pieces of those that are also 8 inches square or 20 centimetres. First thing we need to do is fuse the stabiliser onto the wrong side of our fabric. It doesn't really matter which fabric you choose to put it onto. So we'll go and fuse that now and I'll be right back. Alright, with your stabiliser fused to the back of your fabric, take those pieces and place them right side up. Grab the contrast fabric, place those right side down. Once you've secured all that in place, we're going to leave a small opening on one side of each of these 2 sets. Start here with a back stitch, sew around, finish here with a back stitch, just leave a small opening on each of these. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance or about 6 millimeters. Back stitch. And for the other one I'll do the same. Okay, before we turn this the right way out, we need to trim our corners. And bring the fabric the right way round. You poke out your corners so that they sit nice and evenly. And then after that we'll go and press the fabric so that the layers sit nicely. The corners have been poked out and I've gone and pressed this as well so that it's sitting nice and flat, and the unstitched edges here are pressed to the inside. What I want to do now is take one of these, it really doesn't matter which one, and the opening that we have here is going to stay facing the bottom. So we have our opening at the bottom here. From this corner here we're going to measure 5 inches or 13 centimetres. Pop a pin just in the edge there, and on this side we'll do the same. So across here is 5 inches and down here is 5 inches or 13 centimetres. Take this point and fold the fabric down until you get to that pin mark, and just double check your fabric is even along here. Then we're going to do a top stitch right across there. Let's do that. And back stitch here. Alright, that's been top stitched in place along there. Now we need to grab our button and a needle and thread. If you can sew buttons on with your machine, that will be just fine as well. I've doubled my thread here and I'll pop the looped end through the eye of the needle, and once you get that looped end through the eye of the needle, and this took me ages. Fold the thread in half, and I've now got 4 strands of thread around my needle. With your needle between your thumb and forefinger and your thread between your thumb and forefinger on the other hand, take this thread here and just sit it on your needle, then loop the thread around your needle once and then twice, and then get your thumbnail and hold that thread in place and grab this needle here and pull the needle through under your thumbnail and keep on pulling the thread through till you get to the end and you've made a knot. That's just one way of making a knot in the end of your thread. There are many others, but it's my favourite. One of the ladies that I used to teach patchwork to taught me how to do that years ago. I love it. Come in underneath the flap here, and wherever you want the button to be positioned. So I've got the raw edges of the thread underneath. They won't be seen, and then start sewing your button on. I'm going to secure my button to the top flap first. That way it'll stay in place. And once you're happy with the position, then you can go through all the layers. And that will keep that flap sitting down onto the background fabric. And sewing with 4 threads at a time means you don't have to go through the buttonholes as often. When I've stitched enough, I'll put the needle through the hole in the button, but not through the fabric. And then I'll make a couple of loops to tie that off. So you can hold the thread here, wind the thread that's on the needle around the button, and loop it through. Pull that taut and do it one more time. And then you can trim your thread. That's that done. Now we can place these 2 pieces together. Have this one with the floral side to the back, the contrast side faced up, and I've also got the opening of the fabric facing the bottom, and we'll line up these side edges here, and we'll go and top stitch all 4 sides. When I get over the bulk here, I'll triple stitch here and here. And then that's our project finished. If you prefer, you can have your fabric facing this way. That's completely up to you. But the napkins are going inside there, so I'm going to leave mine like this. Let's sew that together. I'll start sewing at the bottom of the triangle here. Because I'm sewing a lot of layers together here, I'll come to the corner and then back stitch for 2, forward for 2, turn, forward for 2 and back for 2, and then continue on. All right, we're all done. We've got plenty of room in here to insert our napkins, which I've got here. I've got the folded edge of the napkin along this side here, and the open edge of the paper napkins along these 2 corners here. Feed that into the bag And there's a napkin holder. I haven't sewn this very straight. Just ignore that. It's pretty cute, isn't it? Another very simple project. You don't even have to sew straight to have something that's useful. So how did you go? It's quite a simple project, isn't it? Just a few squares of fabric, sew them all together, sew on a button, and you're finished. It's such a quick little thing to do. Take it away for picnics, have it at your table when you've got guests coming over, or if you've got some kind of themed dinner, it'll be really nice. I'm not making them for the shop. I just wanted to make something really quick. So this is it. I'm trying to add beginner projects to a playlist. So if you like the beginner projects, let me know. I know that there's a lot of experienced sewers out there, and you know, it's too easy for them, but you know, it's nice to not have to think about things sometimes. And if you can think up some really simple projects as well, let me know. Happy to do them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.